that speech that you gave the Chamber of Commerce last night, is this you getting ahead of the Job Summit, which, as we know, you're not going to?
Well, it's a talkfest. There's no need to get ahead of it. I mean, I completely believe that all of the outcomes that will be announced soon after have already gone through the Expenditure Review Committee of Cabinet, and they've already been worked through. And that's why it's insulting to the families and small businesses that could benefit from them that they've had to wait weeks, if not months, to actually get those policies to help them. So we know that this is a job summit that looks after the unions, where the priorities will be what the CFMEU wants, what the ACTU wants, what the MUA wants.
Right, so business groups will be there too.
Sorry, Pete, I didn't catch that.
Business groups will be there too.
And they should be there in good faith. They should be there in good faith. And the government should have every chance to get things right. However, what I'm seeing is a government that is putting on yet more political theatrics. When they don't need a talkfest, they need the actions that could come out of sensible cabinet processes that would actually deliver for the Australian people, for families and manufacturing businesses. And I'm sure that you've had many on your program that have told you how much they are hurting and how much anxiety they feel for the future. That level of deteriorating confidence is of real concern.
No, that is one of the big issues that we've been talking about this week is the topic of migration. There's a lot of people who have different views on whether a big increase is actually needed. What's your take on migration levels? If it's too high, are you concerned that that will lead to flow-on effects, i.e. when it comes to housing? We know that there's already not enough as it is. What are problems that you've identified with a too bigger increase in migration?
There is a balance to be struck there, but our pensioner and work bonus proposal actually activates an existing Australian workforce. They could be in hospitality businesses, in aged care, in retail tomorrow if the government had picked this up. It's a ready workforce waiting to do this. Yes, migration and some congestion busting in the visa approvals process is needed. But also in addressing the skills needs of the economy, the government needs to look at how every provider of skilling can be supported. Not just TAFE, TAFE is important, but we've got a huge industry-led sector that also provides private training that could support apprentices and trainees, something we started in government with bigger than ever incentives and therefore more apprentices starting than ever before. But we actually need this to be done with industry and businesses at the centre, not the unions dictating terms.
Was it a mistake in hindsight to cut nearly $1 billion from visa processing in the Home Affairs Department?
Look, those judgments will be made, and I think what matters is that the government responds to the circumstances of today. So the circumstances have dramatically changed in the last few months as the borders have opened up, but we found that people are actually not coming to Australia because they've got other choices they can make as, if you like, an imported workforce. They can go to the US, they can go to Canada, they can go to Europe, they can go to New Zealand. Maybe what the government could consider is a campaign that attracts them to Australia and says, we know that you've got lots of places you can go, but this is what will make a difference to you and your family if you come here. But if they're only starting this conversation, Pete, it's going to take a long time before it turns into a real policy in the real world of real help to businesses.
Sussan Ley, the Deputy Opposition Leader, thank you for your time. We'll talk to you soon.